네, 2019 SK 서머 스플릿 8주차 경기로 찾아왔습니다.
LCK Summer Split week
오늘 분석
number 8.
데스크 캡틴 잭님,
네,
족살님
once again
함께할게요.
we'll be joined
안녕하세요.
by Mina
네,
Kim,
안녕하세요.
Captain
캡틴
Jack
잭 강형호입니다.
aka
안녕하세요.
족살.
선입니다.
네,
And
서머
this
정규
season
스플릿 이제
with the
3주밖에 남지
preview
않았는데
and on
네.
Stacks Desk Show translation.
속에 있습니다.
그렇습니다. 지금 뭐 강팀
So,
계속 있을 정도로 좀
every
확연하게
team
보이는 성적을 보이고 있죠. 강팀만
looks really
7팀이고
strong because all the
하위 팀
teams,
3팀
the
이렇게
gap is
나눠져
really
있는
that big,
상황입니다.
and also
지금
Tamon
롤드컵
is the
때문에
only
해외
team
쪽도
trying to
관심이
stretch their
많은데요.
lead.
푸드
However,
굉장히 치열한가요?
it's really hard to figure out who's going to make it into the playoffs.
그중에 TSN
Jobs are also mentioning about some of the things, how things are going in the foreign leagues like LEC and LCS, especially LCS. TSN is on the very risky position to make it into the playoff, and also especially in LPL, RNG looks really strong as usual.
LCK의 지난주 뱀픽률 확인해
So
보도록
let's
할게요.
check out who made it to the top 5 pick and ban rates
유미,
last
이즈리얼,
week.
코르키 뱀픽률 100%를
Yumi, Ezreal, Corki, they have 100% pick rates or pick and ban rates. So both three champions are really easy to kind of first pick or rather blind pick. And also about the current meta, mid lane is all about Azir versus Corki, so Corki is very preferred by a lot of mid lane players. So speaking of Kennen in the bottom line, actually due to Jace and Talia global ban, Kennen's pick and ban rate skyrocketed last week, especially in top lane. He is having the highest pick and ban rate.
아니면 뭐 이런 정글로 좀 돌려가는 모습이죠.
네, 사일러스의 티어가 꽤 많이 높아진
Silas'
상황이고요.
tier
그리고
has kind
지난주까지
of
제이스와 탈리아가 글로벌
now better than
밴이었는데
compared to
오늘
the
다시
earlier
풀리게 됐습니다.
timing of the summer split due to its changing in the roles. Now he's utilized in the jungle as well, and also as I mentioned, Jace and Talia are now back in the rift.
확인했던 뱀픽률 1위 세 친구들이죠.
So these are the issues of last week. The first one is Corki, Ezreal, Yumi having 100% pick and ban rates. So we're gonna see the best players of each champion. For Corki, it's gonna be Showmaker. For Ezreal, it's gonna be aiming, and Yumi, maybe it will be Joker stealing away the barrel with his Q skill. So in foreign leagues, now Tristana is popping up in the Rift as a counter pick for Corki and Azir in mid lane actually. And Tamon Gaming reclaimed its spot in the first place, and they made it to the 10th victory in LCK Summer Split for the first time. Tamon Gaming looks really decisive in every match, especially when some of the players are having a bit of a rough start. They know how to make it back. And SKT, they finally made it back to the west side. They are now on a 7-match win streak, and they made it to the 5th place. So apparently they're now in the possible and potential playoff zone, but we will never know until the end of the split. That was a highlight of FLICKR popping up with the Pop Blossom.
자, 1승 1승이 정말 소중한 네 팀입니다.
And there are 4 teams actually tied up with the 8 and 5 score. So maybe week number 8 will be all about figuring out who of those 4 teams will make it to the playoffs. There are not many matches left for the remaining split, so every match, every set really matters. So they have to do their best to make the best out of it.
그리핀 SKT, 킹존과 아프리카가 치열한 경기 펼치고 있죠.
네. 그래서
Griffin, SK Telecom, Kingzone, and Africa. Those 4 teams are going to be competing so hard to get the playoff ticket. And the last point will be Jinair having one of the biggest slumps in LCK. They are now in 22 games losing streak. And including from the spring split, they are now on a 19-match losing streak. This has never happened in LCK before. They are resetting the record every day, so they have to find a way out of this, one of the biggest losing streak in competitive league.
그 기록을 깨진 않았으면 좋겠어요.
네, 정말 고민이 많을 듯한 지네요. 팬분들이 응원하고 있습니다.
So those are the issues of last week, and let's check out the rankings and standings of LCK.
보기만 해도 숨이 턱 막히는 그런
네.
순위표죠.
그렇습니다. 지금
The score
6위까지가
line is
전부
so
다
even.
포스트 갈수 있는
So all of
그런
the
상황이라고
teams
볼 수
on
있겠죠.
down to
보시면
the sixth place are very have a huge
여기서
potential to make it to the playoffs. So we
그래서
cannot
이
really
번수가
easily
더
make a
중요합니다.
predictions about who's gonna make it
이어서
there.
MVP 순위 만나볼게요. 쇼메이커 선수가 지난주 300점을
And
쓸어갔습니다.
this is the
지금
MVP
MVP
standings.
순위에
The most impressive fact is that Showmaker
에arned
earned 300 points last week.
큰 선수잖아요.
네.
그만큼 담원이 최근 상체 경기력이 더 올라왔다. 원래도
So
강한
this is the
선수지만
proof that
더
Showmaker,
강해진
Kenya,
걸
both on the
보여줬습니다.
rankings,
팀다운
they are the
보여주고 있고요.
main
이어서
characters in their
KD의
team, and
순위
they are
만나볼게요.
now playing. Damon is now able to play around those two strong players.
이제 소환 선수가 최근 이제
And this is the KD standings for each lane.
랭크까지 됐는데 그래도 뭐
Soan
성적으로는
joined
좀 아쉬워요.
the ranking this week
뭐
because
스플릿
he
챔피언
was
같은
the
걸
now
잡았을 때
starting
그걸로 이제
players
한타를
for
좀
Hana Life
한다던가
and a top laner.
운영적인 미술이
However,
있지만
Soan
그래도
needs to
팀
improve
전체적으로
on
좀
his
저는
macro
경험치 쌓아가고
skills and
있다는 점 볼 수
also
있겠죠.
some of the
네,
rotation
이어서
skills, but
눌러줍니다.
high KDA can be a proof that he's
자,
performing
타잔
quite
선수
well for the
1위
team.
보고 있죠.
네, 정글 순위는
Tarzan is still remaining on the first place. However, Canyon is moving down to the fourth place, and Peanut made it to the third place.
이득을 많이 보는 스타일이라면 캐니언과 커즈는 적극적으로
Well,
많은
Canyon,
기회를
Cuzz,
유도하고
those
있죠.
are the players are
도전의
going
수가 많으면
quite
많을수록
aggressive, who
KDA 가
prefers
상대적으로
fights
떨어지는
and
그런
kind of
분위기
proactive
네,
players.
이어서
So
미드라이너
maybe their
선수는요.
KDA
쇼메이커
has
선수입니다.
gone a little bit
공동의
down.
1위입니다.
와, 뭐
And
정말
for the
이제
mid lane,
뭐
Showmaker
한국에서
is
최고
the
미드라이너다라는
untouchable
얘기가 좀
number one
계속
player in
나오고
terms of
있거든요.
KDA as
그다음에
well.
뭐 아칼리를 플레이했을
Even
때
though he
엄청난
prefers a
캐리어
lot
이런
of
것도
champions that
있었고, 또
goes
뭐
in like
포인트로는
Kali,
고구 선수의
some of the
이제
assassin
랭킹이
players
두
and
단계
also very
떨어졌습니다.
aggressive
샌드박스가 이제
champions.
최근
He's still on the first place, especially last week. On the Kali, he actually didn't make any death on that champion.
지난주와 변화가 없는 모습입니다.
Moving on to the bot lane, the standings remains the same compared to the last week.
상대적으로 낮은 편이죠. 한타에서 적극적인 킬림을 노리다 보니 그때 죽으면서 실수하면서
So some of the players are actually on the lower place of the rankings because some of the players kind of enjoy going to the front line and doing a lot of damage and killing down all the players. So that can be a very relevant to their
저는 라이프
KDA.
선수가 저렇게 1위를
And
하고
lastly,
있는
for the
이유는
KD
역시나
standing
파트너
for
룰러
support,
선수가 함께 바텀
Life
캐리
is
조합을
on the first
계속해서 잘
place.
이끌어 나가고 있기
Captain
때문이라고
Captain
생각하거든요.
Jack thinks it's
분이
because
사이가
Life and
좋으시더라고요.
Ruler,
네,
they are
선수가
the
MVP
biggest
뺏어간다고
carries in their
룰러
team,
선수가
so maybe
하셨는데
that can
그만큼
lead to a
기량도
higher
올라와
KDA
있고
for
지금
Life.
바텀 이길 수 있는 팀이 거의 없다 싶을 정도로
Captain Jack believes that there is no other bot duo that can take down Life and Ruler duo in Gen G.
그리고 룰러 선수의 활약까지 이번 주도 기대해 보도록 하겠습니다.
네.
자, 지난주까지의 순위들
This
여러 가지
was the
확인을
standings of
해봤는데요.
last
이번 주
week,
정말
and
더 치열한 경기들
for
기다리고 있죠. 이번
Last,
대진
let's check out the
일정
schedules for
만나보시죠.
this week.
당장 오늘부터
So
정말
for
어마어마하죠.
today,
맞습니다.
we're gonna be having SK Telecom versus Kingdom Dragon
자본의
X
경기가 있는데
for game
이 중에
number 1.
자본을 제외한 세 팀은 아까 말씀드린 8승
And
목표 팀들이에요.
for match 2,
그렇기
it's
때문에
gonna be
오늘
FLICKR
만약
versus
패배하게
Tomon.
된다면
So
이
all the
플레이오프
three
경쟁에서
teams,
너무나도
FLICKR,
뼈아픈
Kingdom,
경기가
and
될 수밖에
SKT,
없겠죠.
they are
그리고
all on
오늘
8 and
이후에는
5
잘
scores.
수밖에
So
없고요.
it's gonna be all about their competition for the playoff.
가는 걸 거의 뭐 확정
Maybe by the end of this week, we will be able to see who is most likely to make it to the playoff. So there are a lot of matches between the teams on the west side, so it's going to be very intense and there will be a lot of things to watch this week. So this will be the end of the preview analyst desk show. I'm going to pass it back to our casters.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK 2019 Summer. I am Atlas, this is LS, and let's just start this by setting the story straight. There were thunderstorms on Wednesday, which was yesterday, you guys playing at home. We did have a date planned. We were going to see The Lion King. Despite the terrible reviews, we still wanted to go because we're good friends and we wanted to spend time together. However,
and he canceled on me.
I did not cancel.
You did.
I have the message right here. I will show everyone.
Photoshop.
I will show everyone.
Not
I don't have it prepared because
Yeah,
I
of
didn't
course
think
you
that
don't.
you'd go this
Likely
far. You said,
story. How about
Atlas,
you tell 'em about the
lol,
games
weather
today?
is thunderstorms and intense rainfall, and I'm 1 hour 20 minutes away. Lol, with 3 transfers. And
That's you coming to me.
Yeah.
You're reading your
And then-
message to me right now.
Yes, this is your message.
Your message
What
to me.
if we go to IMAX at Yongsan iPark after the cast we do on Sunday? So we have already rescheduled. This is absolutely fine, and yet the slander still comes out.
All right.
Just insanity from this man. Cannot believe it. Thankfully, to save us, we have some incredible League of Legends. SKT on their incredible dream run up against a Kingzone Dragon X, who have certainly been floundering over the last weeks, cancelling their streams for an entire week in order to do better in the LCK, and then not doing better in the LCK. That is not so good for a Kingzone that were looking fantastic at the beginning of the season and have certainly slumped.
Yeah, in SK Telecom, though, you can't really say the same for them. They have been on a bit of a tear in the second round so far, as we're going to take a look at some of the points of the match. The most intense LCK split. You fall to 7th match between 8 wins, 5 losses teams. Winners goes to 3rd place, loser will fall to the 7th place. As well as from 1st to 6th, Kingzone's downfall, trying to make it back to the west side today. Followed up by, from 5-match losing streak to 7-match winning streak, and SKT clinch their spot on the west side with an 8th consecutive victory.
And this is an interesting one. Who's the best of Mapo High School, Rabbidan's Deathcap, and Spicy Fist FLICKR versus Bloodthirsted Deft? This is, of course, a reference to Deft and FLICKR going to the same school. They were in the same year as well, of course.
Yeah.
I live in Mapo as well, so it's, well, near Mapo. So
Near, oh.
It's actually pretty exciting for me to know that, you know, that my idols have been near where I live. So it's kind of exciting. And both of these guys certainly have been the carries for their team in our recent weeks as well. FLICKR's Nico especially has been out of control. Gonna check out some of the stats here, and I'm sensing some monsoon season, LS. That's a lot of fiery and oceany drakes.
Well, no, you see here, what has to happen today is that SK Telecom is going to capture 5 Infernal Dragons.
Aha.
To bring balance to the Force.
Hey, that's true.
That's what's going to end up happening. Now,
I'm getting some Revenge of the Sith vibes, you know?
I am as well.
How are you supposed to get 5 drakes in one game, though? I'm
2
pretty
games.
sure that's... Oh, in 2 games.
2 games, yeah.
But then there'll be other drakes. They have to ignore them? Do they have to ignore the other drakes? Is that the rule?
They do. But look at the amount of Elder Dragons.
That's a lot of Elder Dragons.
That is a
SKT.
lot of Elder.
They have just been playing some long games.
Yeah, and they do like to get a lot of dragons lately.
They do. They certainly do. As we're going to check out some of the highlights here of their match against Griffin. It wasn't a 2-0. They weren't able to keep that streak alive, but just winning the match was definitely the most important thing. This is a Griffin that hasn't been as strong as they were at the beginning of the season, but SKT certainly looked like the better team on the day, and this was one of their biggest challenges thus far. Remember, strength of schedule certainly dictated that SKT should have been winning their first 5 in their streak, and then Gen G, the second time that they met in that particular one, were looking much stronger. That was a considerable victory against them, and now being able to take down Griffin so comfortably is very impressive here for an SKT who are certainly proving that they're on the rise.
Yeah, and they have just been basically leveling up and being so much more consistent as the split has drawn on, and Effort being with them over and over. I mean, he's been proving to be really consistent and valuable here inside of this second round. And other teams are, well, as we talked about with the match points, it's very, very competitive here in the LCK with no really clear-cut defined best team.
Well, I mean, Damwon are the only team that have made it to double-digit victories at this stage as we move over to the Kingzone highlights. It was a bit of a messy series here against FLICKR. It was one where you did feel that emotions were getting to the squad of Kingzone. Deft still playing well, as he's want to do, just in general, but otherwise, it was an FLICKR Freaks that were looking much higher level than they have in previous weeks.
And this was a Baron attempt, everyone extremely low HP.
It's what we call a yikes, I think.
Yeah, well, they ended up getting it.
All right.
All right, so
that wasn't the particular yikes Baron moment that was in that series. There was that was actually a highlight, and there have been certainly some moments recently for Kingzone where they make some calls that haven't necessarily paid off. This has, though, putting Deft into the 80 carry position for Kingzone Dragon X. 10 out of 10 play by them at the beginning of the year. Damage percent 32.1, if you don't mind, against Teddy's 31%. Both of these players certainly linchpins for their squads, and always has been a fun bottom lane to watch, Deft versus Teddy, because they're both just so good in the laning phase that you kind of just want to watch them play rather than the rest of the map, which is saying something given the matchups that we have elsewhere.
Yeah, and you know, maybe we'll get that today. Maybe the camera will just stay panned
We'll just
on
lock
bottom.
it on.
Yeah, we'll just
I'll message the observers.
Okay.
I'll see what we can work
get a
out.
bit of a gentleman's agreement here. As for their overall stats, I'm not really impressed.
No?
Atlas, not.
124% damage per gold?
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
just
something
not-
that you're impressed with?
Nope.
Okay.
Too many middle-digit numbers.
Yeah, you can't have
on that
middle-digit
score screen.
numbers.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely not.
That's a big problem. As SKT will be on our blue side this time around. Last time, it was a 2-1 victory for King's Own Dragon X. That was their second loss for SKT at the beginning of the season. And King's Own were certainly a different team back then, but SKT as well would go on to lose another 3 matches after that, showing us that there was indeed some turmoil for this squad. Now they need to prove to us that they are on that winning streak and that they are going to make that run towards the playoffs. I don't think anyone is doubting SKT at this point in time. I have a feeling that they will be pretty much shoo-ins for heading towards Worlds this year, but they need to keep winning. They need to keep showing us that that form that they've been developing is something that's here to stay. King's Own Dragon X now, as you can see, making their way into LoL Park. They're the team that can stamp them down. They're the team that can get themselves towards 3rd place and relegate SKT out of the western side of the standings.
Yeah, and I mean, with Summer drawing on, getting closer and closer to Worlds like what you're talking about, both of these teams obviously vying for it and attempting to end really high in this second round. And this is going to be an important match, just like the points of the match basically stressed, is with everything being as close as it is, wins here, points, everything sort of matters. It's neck and neck.
Yeah, we're up to week 8. There are only, like, if you include this week, there are 3 weeks left of the regular season before we get towards the playoffs and the World's Gauntlet. Of course, a lot of League of Legends to be played after these 3 weeks, but still, we are certainly at the pointy end of the regular season, and still no one has made themselves known as that team that is going to be definitively out in front. I mean, Damwon are getting there, but still only a match ahead of second place is not going to be enough. It certainly isn't Griffin, as we've seen in the regular season over the last 2 seasons prior to this one.
Griffin has definitely been faltering. And one of the things about today's matchup is that Jace and Talia are re-enabled.
Yeah, no Mordekaiser, but Jace and Talia are back, able to be played by all of these teams, and I think that's actually very important given the matches that we have today.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that we've got them re-enabled when Kahn's Jace now going to be available. Of course, FLICKR was playing a hell of a lot of Talia before she got disabled, and Naehyun has been a Talia player himself. And then after this, of course, in our second match, Yukal's going to be making his way back in, and he, of course, is our premier Talia player, so excited to have them back on the board. We'll see whether they make their way down towards these bans, as Yuumi is certainly going to. TusiN's Yuumi being able to buff up Deft is certainly something that you don't want to see, as Clid's Sejuani's going to be banned. There's a reason why this is first ban. He has the most despicable win rate at the moment in solo queue. He's played 20 games of Sejuani or something this week. Just get rid of it.
All right, well, Karthus is actually going to be taken off the table by SK Telecom. We'll see if champions like Ezreal and Jace are actually going to be banned away here. There's only 2 bans remaining, and
Sir
SK
Thomas.
Telecom, yeah, I mean, you can probably assume that Kahn might just want to snap Jace up right away if it makes it through the ban phase.
Gragas, okay, Cuzz
so
getting a lot of respect for his famous pick in the jungle. Certainly did make a name for himself by getting back-to-back Gragas games where he got the highest damage out of everyone on the map. Corki going to be banned, and the Ezreal is what's going to be prioritized here. Of course, 100% pick ban is the Ezreal and the Corki and the Yuumi so far, as Naehyun going to go back to an old favorite in the Azir, and of course picking it away from FLICKR could be a good thing, and with the Corki being banned away, we're not going to see that Azir Corki lane. This is a curious one.
And the Skarner, if they lock in the Skarner, I mean, with the Azir, now, we know that Azir has a hard counter inside of Veigar. Probably not likely the FLICKR is going to end up playing it. like another mid laner here in the LCK likes to, as an answer to the Azir.
Yep, good old Fly. Certainly has been pulling out the Viger if the Azir does come down. BDD, of course, deciding to pick Azir into the Viger matchup and still smashing
You ready?
it in the lane.
You ready for Corki?
Corki's already banned, dude. Don't worry, we're fine. We're out of the
He'll
woods.
find a way in, Alice.
Oh,
He's
God.
gonna find a way in.
Just
okay.
packages his way into the
The
champion
ban
select.
card's just gonna disappear. And
I'm just imagining like his little icon there down in the bans, just like packages his way over to FLICKR's pick as the Aatrox is locked in, and
Aatrox.
instantly TusiN's going to Twitch pick the Rakan. Okay.
All right, well, now we'll have to see what the bans are likely going to be allocated towards. Junglers are still relatively open. In SK Telecom, they might just try to pinch top laners here. Perhaps take away the Jace, because then Kingzone just has... If they get a hold of Jace, there's so much access to poke and siege with the Azir, with the Sivir.
And they have so much wave clear as well
Yeah.
if that does come in, so will be very, very scary. Like you say, poke and siege, but also just their ability to destroy turrets. If turrets are left alone for 2 seconds, they're dead. Against all three of these champions. Of course, Azir's W doesn't work like it used to back in the old days. However, still, builds a lot of attack speed and is able to knock down those structures pretty quick. So we'll see whether SKT have an answer to it. The cannon going to be the first one taken off the board. Nico with absolutely zero consideration at this point when it's Naehyun versus FLICKR, two of our predominant Nico players, as well as Rascal on the top side, who's played a lot of it himself. A very strange one to be left up, and that might actually be considered here by Kingzone. Camille, though, insta-locked.
And yeah, Camille locked in right away. The Trundle ban is really peculiar. I wonder what that might potentially signify for Kingzone, what they could be hiding as a last pick. Very doubtful that the Camille is going to go jungle. Probably just top Camille.
Yeah, I mean, Cuzz was one of the only Camille jungles that we tolerated here in the LCK. LCK was notorious for having terrible Camille junglers when, you know, players like Ning were destroying people on it in the LPL. The Sylas, though, is going to be locked away. It could be a flex between FLICKR and Kahn. Likely to be going over to FLICKR in that mid lane. He's been spamming it since Chovy gave him a hard time in the Corki matchup earlier last week. Effort now. We'll see what he's going to be taking away here for SKT to round out this roster as the Nico finally shows herself. And that will mean either Aatrox or Sylas are heading into the jungle.
Well, it's probably going to be Sylas heading into the jungle with Aatrox going up to the top lane as Kingzone. They're deciding now on what jungler to end up picking here. Or if the Camille's just going to go in, but I doubt that. Rek'Sai.
Yeah, Cuzz going to go back to one of his old favorites, so some early game power here for Kingzone Dragon X. Very standard composition coming out from these guys as SK Telecom will show us exactly where these junglers are going. And FLICKR will be on the Nico. Of course, he is probably the best Nico in the LCK, and I'd hazard to say the best Nico in the world.
Yeah. Well, these two team compositions are looking to do semi-similar things in a way. They operate relatively similar, although SK Telecom has a bit more brute force engage inside of their team composition with the Sylas and the Nico paired with the Aatrox. But Kingzone, they have more modes available. They have the ability to siege. They have the ability to play front to back. And they have a lot of CC inside of their middle line that can make it hard for SKT to engage. So we'll see what ends up occurring. Mountain Dragons and Infernals are going to be super, super valuable. The other Dragons, less so.
Yep, and both these teams have been pretty good at picking up the Ocean Drakes. SKT need to get those 5 Infernals. If you remember back to that graphic that we had up earlier on, you just need 5 Infernals and they've got 21 in every category, and that is the important statistic that we need to be looking for. Having a look at the Kingzone team composition, I completely agree with you. I feel like there are so many different options for this team. Even the 4-1 looks fantastic for this squad against an SKT that look like they are team fighting or they're not doing as much, right? I mean, they do have 1-3-1 options, but they're not the most fantastic. Nico and Aatrox can do it, but not necessarily as comfortably. Let's see what happens here as we get into game 1. Well, the Kingzone fans couldn't quite find tickets to today's show because, of course, SKT is here, and that means that the tickets sold within seconds.
You know what I couldn't find tickets to? The Lion King last night. Yeah.
Do you know what I found instead? Because you stood me up.
Yeah, you went to see Aladdin.
Yeah,
right?
went and saw Aladdin, and man, I didn't have high expectations, right? Because I absolutely loved the first
Low
Aladdin.
standards.
Yeah, Robin Williams was the best genie that could ever be, and I think that is still the case. Will Smith had an admirable effort, but I felt like no one can ever be Robin Williams. That being said, I felt like it was Robin Williams singing and the music that was better, which is super weird, right? Because Will Smith is an actual artist, right? He's got albums.
Yeah.
And I guess rap doesn't necessarily fit into a Disney movie, but still, it's a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, it can. It just matters how hard you want it to.
Yeah, I mean, just when it's a cover of a song, right?
Yeah.
You can't exactly change Arabian Nights to be rap. I think that wouldn't quite work thematically.
Well,
how the show works.
Let me tell you about our genie.
All right.
Look at this one in the middle lane. You ever seen?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? That's Ezreal.
That's a funny-looking Ezreal.
That isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit strange.
He looks a bit green.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, there's 2 Ezreals in the game.
Whoa.
Ooh. Bet you didn't expect that one.
I didn't expect that one. Ever since TusiN's,
2 Shens, right. Well, actually, TusiN is in the game, so there's just a lot of anomalies.
There's some Illuminati action happening here.
There definitely is.
This is frightening. Bottom side of the map, you could imagine, just going back to the game for 1 second, I was talking about Aladdin for a little bit too long, I think. Haven't given you my full review.
Long, actually. Go ahead.
All right, have we overstepped our bounds? How are we expecting these lanes to go as far as in the laning phase? You can imagine I'm expecting Kingzone should have some push potential down here, given the range advantage that they have, but where are these teams going to be picking up their advantages?
Well, the first dragon of the game is actually going to be Mountain.
Nice.
And so it's super important for both of these team compositions, a little bit more so for Kingzone because they're the ones that are going to be looking to raise turrets more actively. But SKT's team comp doesn't really come online until the mid-game transition, whereas Kingzone, they will have a little bit more leeway if they get ahead and can start accelerating via the Azir.
Oh, wow. Cuzz just read Clid like a book and is just walking in and stealing away his red buff. So it's going to be a 3-buff start here for Kingzone. That ward, I'm not entirely sure whether that went down earlier or whether Cuzz just put it down. I didn't quite have a look at the duration or where TusiN was going and was too busy talking about Aladdin. I apologize. He's going to be able to take the bottom scuttler as well, and the Rek'Sai, of course, faster clear speed throughout the jungle, but is already capitalizing on that by stealing things away from Clid.
Yeah. And now Cuzz is going to come out ahead in terms of jungle advantage. As we can see that Clid, he's going to make his way to the left-hand side. He's probably just going to clear out that Scuttle Crab, but he's on a bit of a time limit, which is this next wave that we see approaching right now. That's probably, well, potentially is just the last wave that Rascal might stay inside of the lane for, realistically.
He has a ward that is about to expire as well, as Clid's looking around for some enemy jungle camps, and he's going to find absolutely none. Good Umbral dash there from Kahn to get himself out of the way of Rascal. Wanted to E the Aatrox, but couldn't quite find any availability. Goes down, another ward's there, and should be able to keep himself pretty safe. You can see there's a lot of vision here for SKT, but Rascal with that one little ward is probably feeling pretty comfy.
Well, we're getting the ping pong in every lane right now. And the Camille's actually feeling more comfortable, as Silas actually didn't go up immediately after the Scuttle Crab. Even though Kahn should have been able to alert that ward had not yet been placed.
Yeah, this is really aggressively played from Rascal. He has been on the other side of the river for a very long time. As TusiN's Gleaming Quill does get a little bit of poke damage there as hookshot. Moves Rascal out of the way. He's just looking for a reset. Wants to grab his first item. We'll see what he's going to pick up. Could just be a Tiamat timing here for the Camille.
And it's going to be double Doran's Blade.
All right.
With a control ward picked up. TP coming in right away. Not super sure what the lane state is, but yeah, we're in a bit of a in a lull state, Alex.
Bit of a lull state?
A little bit of a lull state.
Can I go back to my Aladdin review?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
All right, fantastic. I just want to say that Jasmine in the new Aladdin, unbelievable. Basically, she's the reason why I think that it's almost better than the Disney original. It's because the new songs they added for her were brilliant.
Okay.
And I just liked how the storyline was adjusted from a little bit of an older idea in the first movie, but still felt like the Aladdin that we know. As here's the gank from Cuzz, flashes forward, teleport immediately as Hextech. No, not going to find it. Rascal tries to get over, will take another one and needs to get out. Now Cuzz needs to do the same, but he's snared. FLICKR up here with that teleport as World Ender comes down. Cuzz, Halo Blades, he gets it! Picks up the kill, first blood going over, and now FLICKR has to get out of there. Void Rush comes in, FLICKR, can he actually get there? I think that was a little bit overly ambitious from good old Cuzz, but they'll take the 1-for-1 regardless.
That was definitely over-aggressive by Cuzz, but it was a really nice salvaging of the current state, and unfortunately though, Kingzone teleporting up TusiN does mean that Deft is by himself temporarily, but unlikely that Ezreal and Braum are going to be able to do anything.
Yep, and Deft underneath the turret is probably still going to be pretty comfortable as Clid clears out this control ward. And Naehyun in mid lane got some spare time. Still going to be behind a few CS.
Yeah.
As Kahn's looking to go aggressive. Umbrella dashes backwards though, so going to be going all in onto Naehyun just yet, especially not without any summoners.
One of the things I want to bring to your attention is this replay right here. Okay, timing.
Nailed it.
That's it. As they go in onto Kahn, he flashes away, and then Rascal, he follows up right there, but just not able to kill Kahn. And then right here you can see that SKT, they get level 6 for Kahn. World Ender is cast, but they just don't end up killing Cuzz in time. He turns it around. As SKT, they were making quite a few mistakes right there. In the end, FLICKR was able to salvage it thanks to the aggression, but it's not as clean as it could have been. They did get the spellbook usage though.
That is true, and that's why Deft was in a little bit of trouble towards the bottom side of the map just for a little while. That being said, he's still 10 CS ahead, so not too worried here. I don't know what this necessarily changes for the lane state. You can see Kahn suffered a death, but Rascal was only able to go back and get some components and doesn't have a CS advantage and only got the assist. So as far as top lane is concerned, I have a feeling that gank from Cuzz is not going to change too much.
Nope. It won't change all that much, as meanwhile every other lane we're getting the ping pong.
Yeah,
Do you like ping pong?
I was a fan. I had a ping pong table back in the day. Daddy bought me one.
Did you? Okay.
FLICKR's going to get knocked up. Does find another snare. Pop Blossom comes down. Naehyun just sweeps the floor with FLICKR though. So Void Rush, and that's going to be an easy kill. So the Azir picks it up anyway, as Cuzz getting work done all over this map.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of value for his team right now. FLICKR doesn't have teleport available.
Entrance coming down, just the end of the Glacial Fissure is there, but Battle Dance gets TusiN out, and Deft was in no problems whatsoever. Kingzone in control here of this game is just the tip of the boomerang, not enough to land onto Teddy.
And right now, Cuzz probably going to end up recalling after the Golem camp, and then at that point, Blue Buff and Mountain Dragon should be on his mind. Naehyun, he gets himself a turret plate, but I'm not sure if the turret plate is actually more valuable than the tempo gained, given that they're going... You know, we actually saw Naehyun do this in the past, in a previous game. The exact game is failing me, but
I think
the
I know
lack
what you're
of
talking about.
Yeah, the lack of tempo around the dragon. And now he stayed for the plate, but now FLICKR gets a plate.
Clid's timing's pretty good. There's the quickness down as TusiN. Battle Dance is in. Extra movement speed. Has to flash. Clid is going to follow us now. Deft is next on the menu. A double kill. Bottom side of the map. Teddy picks up the second one. SKT turning it on its head.
SKT, they turn it around, and now they're going to get all the control around right-hand side river. And if Naehyun was there right now with blue buff and Cuzz is ready to go there as well, Deft has teleport, it wouldn't be a doomsday scenario, but you can see Naehyun, he's late to the party right now. It might not actually be that bad though, as SKT didn't have the damage. And so it's going to turn out,
Thanks for the leash.
Can turn out okay in the end, but definitely almost scary, resulting in a loss of a dragon.
Yeah, Mountain Drake, of course, taking a little bit more killing as we're going to go very far back for this pick-off onto FLICKR. Gets the Pop Blossom shield, but it isn't enough. Void Rush is a powerful ability.
Yeah. It is indeed quite an ability, as right here, I mean, this was just a straight-up gank. Somehow TusiN just dove right in there. The quickness not going to be able to save him. As SKT, they just play that really well.
Yeah, a lot of flashes do go down, however, certainly worth it for SKT. Unfortunately, just didn't have the damage to take down that dragon without FLICKR's help. Earlier on, his effort decides not to put up the door, and Teddy takes a lot of boomerang damage. Deft actually getting the better of him here on his famous Sivir against Teddy's famous Ezreal. It's a really fun matchup between these two players, just based on the history of how both of them use both of these champions. See whether Deft Sivir is going to be getting those what-the-heck pentakills this time around, like in his days on EDG in finals past.
Rascal, oh no.
He's lying in wait looking for a potential gank, as little does he know that Clid was making his way around. However, hookshot is a pretty good ability. It's going to get him out to safety.
And interestingly, Clid actually shared a bit of experience there with Kahn. Not sure if that means that he's about to level up and actually needed it, because otherwise it's just bad for the top laner. As Cuzz,
TusiN's on a merry jaunt around Summoner's Rift at the moment.
You know what? You leave him alone. He's
I
just
like
getting
it.
some exercise then.
Ain't nothing wrong with being on a merry jaunt, all right?
The weather is excellent on Summoner's Rift.
It wasn't on Wednesday, though, was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Okay.
And you had an hour and 15-minute journey, didn't you?
20.
And so therefore,
You
sorry,
don't even
hour and
remember
20.
your own message to me.
No,
It's all
it was
right.
your message to me.
No.
I will be tweeting
Ridiculous.
this. I will be tweeting this. I have
I just don't even want to hear
If
it.
this was a Phoenix Wright game,
No.
I would be saying objection very loudly and pointing somewhere. That's what I would be doing. And this would be like one of the tutorial ones, because this one's a real easy one to know which evidence to use. As we're going to get the big zoom out. The fight over Shelly has begun. As the shape splitter comes down, see there's a couple of Kahns making their way in. Of course, the jig is up as SKT, they move on over. Shelly's eye is going to be taken down to 2,000 health. On the hunt comes in. TusiN finds a couple with the quickness as effort, throws out the ultimate, only gets it onto Deft, but that is a good priority target. As now FLICKR doesn't find anything with the Pop Blossom. He had flash, didn't use it. Swept by Naehyun back in towards the river as Clid goes golden. Can keep himself alive, and SKT have turned it around, but it's 2 kills immediately off the back end by Deft. The Void Rush flies forward as the ricochet's not quite enough, but Kahn down to 100 health, and Kingzone steal the team fight.
Kingzone managed to bring that all the way back around. It was going back and forth for a little bit, but in the end, it's going to be them that end up getting the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of time remaining on plates.
Nope.
And
Not going to
so,
be able to get that one down
yeah,
in 10 seconds, I don't think.
not going to be able to convert. Oh, man. Neither party here wants to give up.
Well, it is
But-
going to be Shelly falling as
Yeah.
Rascal looking for the stun. That is going to be a shape splitter Kahn, though, as he, the real one, makes his way in. It's a decent snare. Rascal is definitely dead. They take Shelly, though, and they get out. Kingzone just sacrificing the Camille for the good of the colon.
And so they get the Rift Herald. We're going to have to see how they utilize it. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, at this point in the game with the plates having gone down, because the game is so slow. All of the turrets across the map are so healthy.
Oh, yeah.
So, Kahn, now would you look at the size of that weapon on Aatrox?
That's a big one, ain't it?
That's a really big one.
All these kaijus that are running around, pretty frightened about what's happening here.
That is, it's quite large. I am impressed.
Yeah, Jax would be impressed, too.
Oh, he probably would.
He wishes that
How
he had
much do you think that
real
weighs?
weapon. Look, do you want me to give you an aggregate answer? Do you want it in imperial or metric measurement, American friend?
Well, you know, I'd like you to just give me an estimate.
What about 65,000 kilograms?
Wrong. All right, well, we're going to...
Give me the right answer after the replay?
We're going to take a look at this replay right here. As SK Telecom, they are trying to take this team fight in the river. They end up getting holed up into this narrow corridor. Dreamer Shuffle almost going super big, and pay attention. Look at these Aatrox nerfs there. World Ender.
Look at Naehyun's health bar go down, but not actually himself, so he's going to be fine. Completely even is the gold as Infernal Drake and SKT.
I told you, they're
leveling up
5 today. All right.
Well, here's one. Next one, gonna be another
No.
Infernal, baby. That's all we're talking about. You have been flipping through this script aggressively today.
You know, I did want to just skip right to the end.
Yeah, I know. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You don't start with the last page.
It's all right.
It's
Well,
the rule of all book reading.
see, the Mountain Dragon, SKT actually just conceded it.
Yeah. No, they
think
didn't want to
that
take it.
Kingzone-
They
right.
leashed it for Kingzone
They
to make
leashed
sure
it.
that they took it. Yeah.
Right, so they could get the Infernal in time.
Yeah, and they wanted as much time as they could, because
Correct.
what if they missed out on this Infernal?
Correct.
If they took it way too late.
Correct, Atlas. Thank
You
you.
know? For the mind games.
Stop killing the point.
I'm not killing it.
You're killing it.
All right, you're killing it.
You're killing it today.
Just having a great
You're
day.
so
All right, this is what
I think
what
they're killing
happened when
Naehyun. No, they're
basically
trying.
nothing happened yet.
Yeah, nothing happened there. The bird got away.
Yep. A lot of buttons were pressed.
Yeah.
And
What
not
if
much.
what if Azir was just a genie in a bottle? What if you just like rubbed the bird cage and then Azir popped out?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that
and he's like,
skin.
I'll grant you 3 wishes, and then you make a wish, and he just summons a sand soldier.
Yep.
You're like, that's not a wish.
That's not what I wanted. And he like starts sweeping your floors with sand. You're like, these wishes are faulty. I want Will Smith or Ron Williams back, please.
Oh man. They need to make a Men in Black Azir skin. Definitely not a bird.
He wipes people's memories
Yeah.
with a little.
With his
thing.
little scepter.
Yeah.
He
Oh
just-
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we
Oh
come
my
up with
God! The
best
sun
skins.
turret. The sun turret is literally just a giant one. So good.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, this game is neck and neck.
Yeah, it is.
17.5 minutes in. No Barons just yet. 2.5 minutes on him as Clid comes in and brute forces that blue buff away. Rascal not going to be taking that one as Cuzz moves on down. Looking for the enemy blue, but it hasn't spawned just yet.
So, the sad reality is that normally Kingzone should be able to win out if the game goes longer, and SK Telecom has a much heavier reliance on their summoner spells than Kingzone due to the way that the 2 team comps come together and fight, and the fact that SKT is a comp that wants to go in on the opponent but they're blue side. And so, with that, Kingzone should have just been able to scale. However, double Infernal Dragon, that's going to really create some problems.
It is. The other thing, what we can see going on around this map at the moment is Kingzone's composition at work. Deft with his spell shield was able to just by himself wave clear in the mid lane against SKT as they try and brute force that turret. And in the meantime, the rest of the map is going towards Kingzone just with how much tempo and pressure that they have based on their wave clear in each of their lanes. That has certainly worked out. That being said, you can see that SKT have the right idea with what they're attempting to do around this map. It's just not necessarily working as well as Kingzone's plan is currently in this mid.
As Kahn down here now in the bottom.
First turret, going
Raising
over
that
to
turret.
SKT.
Absolutely fantastic gameplay right there on
Extraordinary.
our screen. Yeah. Yeah,
Isn't it amazing that
and
you
you know
can
what?
lift that weapon, though? How much does it actually weigh? You were going to tell me.
Oh, yeah, actually. Whoa, would you look at that? Look at that spellcast right there. Clearing
Whoa,
out the minion
monitor.
wave. Yeah. He's gonna move through river now.
I don't know.
What were you saying?
I was going to ask you how much the weapon weighed.
And right now, Deft is clearing out a ward.
I see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
They're fighting over
feel
vision
ignored.
right now, Atlas. Can you?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're also fighting a blue sentinel.
They are.
See?
You know that you can
Clid
be
gonna kill
you
it.
can
Oh,
be
Teddy. Mix it up.
the blue sentinel's kin, and he's a
You
little legend.
can, yeah.
So where's
Where's the merch?
Brambleback kin? Ooh,
No,
that-
there is a Brambleback version of him.
What?
Yeah, have you not seen it?
In Little Legend?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's cute.
Well, I believe
It's
you,
called
but
the Bramble Sentinel, I think.
ooh, I like that.
Yeah. It's a cute-
Okay. All right.
I just used the little, the Infernal guys. Is Rascal goes down half health, and Kahn will be winning that trade pretty handedly. This is, of course, Kahn's Aatrox. He's played a hell of a lot of games on it as Kingzone
Ooh.
pop over the back of the Baron pit and are looking to try and steal that one away as the Shape Splitter comes on forward. Vision is there now, though, and Kingzone are going to be routed.
SK Telecom, they're definitely showing us that their noses are working. That was a very cheesy Baron attempt that was sort of like a pepper jack, but they did end up getting caught out as they tried to add in some Swiss there.
Yeah.
And some Provolone, so doesn't quite work out.
You can't be mixing the Swiss with the pepper jack.
Yeah, you can't do that. Absolute failure, mishap right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an LCK nightmare.
That is that is certainly a cheese platter
Now,
faux pas.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at what the next.
Oh, the
Alright,
second one.
That's not going to be SK Telecom. So the game will either end. Hold on, let me flip the page. The game will either end before the next mountain, or
I like how you say either when you know exactly what the outcome is, just to keep people on their toes.
Exactly. You got to play along.
Yeah,
Get alert.
It's
Take
working.
notes.
You've been very stealth with your scripted advice that you've been throwing.
Notice
out
that
here.
you're very astute here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is a fake Kahn on the bottom side.
I get it, right? Because FLICKR.
Yeah.
Fake.
Yeah, see? That's why he's so good at Nico.
You were so.
Because he's a professional faker. Hey.
Oh man.
I know.
This is pretty pog for me right now.
Get them pogs in chat, boys and girls.
Oh man.
Well, SKT now have vision on this Baron pit. Kingzone don't have that gold lead anymore, and that heart monitor has dipped back towards the other direction. A very close game so far in game number 1, but those 2 Infernal Drakes for SKT and their team fighting composition are certainly looking good, moving further and further into this game. 2 items done for Deft, has Infinity Edge done, Naehyun as well, Luden's Echo and Azonya's Hourglass, and that Trinity Force is in. For Rascal, 1v1 potential certainly there. For the Camille, feels like a pretty strong time for Kingzone right now. As Clid, that's not the real one. He's still going to be face-checking TusiN here.
Well, Clid now just looking for some way of clearing out vision. They're not going to find anything right now as he waits for the Scuttle Crop.
Yep, Scuttle going to go over to Faker. No worries there at all. True Shot Barrage
Ooh.
steals away the blue buff. Rascal's been bullied away from blues a lot so far this game. Teddy is going to join in on that one as well as Naehyun pushes this wave towards the inner turret. I have a feeling this Azir is going to be very important alongside Deft in this late game for Kingzone Dragon X. As Rascal starting to take the worst end of these trades against the Aatrox in the hands of Kahn.
And with the game slowing down, they're probably all just waiting for second core items, or at least SK Telecom is, as Kahn, you can see, is extremely close to completing that. Nico did just pick up her second core item, but perhaps they are waiting on some of the other components to come in and wait for perhaps even the next Mountain Dragon, although SKT, I don't know why they would want that. They don't need it.
No,
You know?
no. They're not going towards the Mountain Drake.
Correct.
They can't. They're not allowed to. They need to wait for another Infernal. Still 3 more Infernals to gather if they're going to reach 21 on the scale of all of them. Deft now back in the mid lane, doesn't have the safety of an outer turret, but now does have a heck of a lot of flat damage. So these minion waves just explode in front of this Sivir. Would be a good time to start something here for Kingzone, given the fact that Faker doesn't quite have his Spooky Ghost just yet, as that's the real Clid. Looking to run away from Kingzone Dragon X as SKT hit the Baron, and Cuzz is going to go on a bit of a roller coaster ride.
You see, he's such a savant that he predicted that Cuzz would make a tunnel into the Baron pit. So
there we
that's
go.
why he hit the Baron Atlas. Come on, get it together, buddy.
All right. Sorry, it's been a few days. Calm down. Our Control Ward is sticking around as SKT have done a pretty good job of protecting it. Cuzz finally going to go back home looking for his Black Cleaver, I believe. And TusiN moving himself towards the bottom side of the map. We'll see whether Kingzone are actually just going to go for a gank here against Kahn. It looks like they are. There's Kahn. World Ender comes down, but Hextech Ultimatum, pretty good ability now as Kahn gets pretty big. Looks for Deft now. A lot of extra damage. Pop Blossom comes through. Swept by the Azir as now FLICKR goes golden, but he just sees his death. Flashes to eventually get out of the way. Void Rush is going to come in. Decent heal comes down. They'll need extra damage. Naehyun is the one that has it as Cuzz goes golden with his stopwatch. Flashes as well to get out of the way of Teddy, and TusiN sacrifices his life. We're going to need some extra crits here from Deft, who has to flash, and Teddy picks up the kill. Another Emperor's Divide, this time from Clid, as Rascal has to run. So many flashes here from Kingzone as Clid eventually goes golden. Naehyun as well is going to copy him. Oh, the Conqueror just a little bit too late there. The shifting sands going down. Oh my goodness, Naehyun. Very close. Some low health bars all over the place. And I don't even know who even won that team fight.
Well, it's gonna be SKT, I believe, that walks away from that victorious in the end, all things considered. We'll take a look at how it all transpires right here as the World Ender. It is cast, initial teleport being channeled 2 different locations actually by SKT. Kahn gets wrapped up. Faker comes in with the Pop Blossom. He ends up getting popped right away. Teddy trying to go hero mode. Cuzz chilling smite onto Faker, lets him get the ultimate, but good effort by Effort and Teddy to try to pin down Cuzz. Exhaust actually ends up coming out. And then Deft right at the very end actually flashes, but an auto attack was all that was needed. Good timing there on the Emperor's Divide by Clid, stolen away. As it looks like they were going to be able to get Naehyun. True Shot Barrage just barely missing on Rascal.
Yeah, Naehyun, slight misordering there of the Shifting Sands, Conquering Sands. I think he wanted to actually get a little bit further with the Shifting Sands, do some bending of the Sand Soldiers, as it were. That
was a very chaotic team fight, and SK Telecom, they could have definitely come out a little bit better off than they did. Faker could have played it a little bit better. But in the end, though, that was so neck and neck, and it started out looking so good for Kingzone. The fact that it was able to be salvaged by Teddy was such good.
Oh no!
Play, and
meanwhile, as we were watching
we've been
the
duped.
replay, we have been duped. This is off script. SKT completely off script.
That's okay.
They are the script killer team. Well, that is what that acronym stands for.
Atlas, you need to just calm down here.
All right.
Here.
Hextech Ultimatum coming in again. Infernal Chain's going to be broken here as Deft gets some extra mana back, and Kahn should be falling down. Deft picks that one up pretty comfortably. Now Teddy looking for more, as Effort is down here as well, but Kingzone are on the correct side of the map, and TusiN is there for the backup. So Kingzone just get a free kill, and they will continue pushing that bottom lane.
Yeah. And it's only a 2,000 gold lead right now, but the double Infernals, you have to consider what that's doing for the team composition. If Kingzone get to 4 or 5 items, they will just attack move basically through SKT, and it's going to come down to Teddy to try to be a hero in order to save it, as it looks like a red buff will be stolen away.
Unless TusiN can Gleaming Quill it, but he actually can't. Rascal down here with this Trinity Force should make pretty short work of this inner turret as Clid gets the quickness one more time. Looks like that extra mobility as that control ward will now be cleared by the Silas. Clid it's been having a bit of a quiet day so far today. Found that one Emperor's Divide in that last fight, but it wasn't exactly consequential. As Tower is going to go down. The last caster minion auto attack calculated there by SKT as they had backed away preemptively. Ravenous Hydra now done for Rascal as well, doing his best Fiora impression with the build.
We're just going to continuously keep clearing out vision. This Baron is not happy this game.
No.
She, or is Baron a she or a he?
I think it's a he. Shelly's the lady, Baron's the
Is that
the
how
lad?
that actually works?
No idea. I haven't actually asked Baron about his gender.
Baron Nasher, yeah. I actually don't know Baron's
Don't
gender.
know the correct pronoun. I guess we just say they.
Is that correct?
No idea.
Okay, well.
I mean, this is all
okay. We're just gonna say Baron here.
Yep.
To err on the side of caution.
We know their name is Baron.
Right.
Baron Naehyun.
Baron is getting poked and prodded this game.
He is. Looking a little bit frustrated.
Feels like someone's been breaching Area 51 a little bit too early.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Naruto runs
yeah,
well and
as
truly
Bertha joining Deft.
Yep. Deft was hungry. Bertha was there.
Do you think that he thinks that Bertha is a fine meal?
Absolutely.
All right.
Both is delicious. Better than a cannon mini. It's your favorite meal of the laning phase.
All right. Well. Look. You saw Baron? He's throwing up.
Yeah,
he heard your joke.
Not having a good day. Forgot to take that amazing hangover stuff that you can get at convenience stores here in Korea.
Right. Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
This is very, very exciting.
I know, the
right
lull
now.
state.
The
Just
lull
enjoying
state
it.
is truly here. It is in full force.
Yeah, there is a lot of suspense, though, this particular game. We did talk about Deft and his bloodthirst in the points of the match, and he's now building said items.
Look at his rainbow build.
I know, it's pretty
That is looking very, very rainbowy. Okay.
It's going to become very
He's going to
red.
get Scimitar, and then he's going to move his boots to the left so that we can almost get a rainbow.
He better.
If he doesn't, I'm reporting him.
Yeah, I think he should.
Yeah.
That's deserved. If only you could buy mana pots just to increase the amount of blue.
Yeah.
Probably not going to happen though. True Shot Barrage soars towards Deft, who uses a spell shield in order to turn it into mana.
Well, Open Dragon's coming up here at 31.5 minutes, so you know that this is going to be an extremely crucial dragon here.
Yeah, contentious dragon. The 22nd Ocean Drake for both of these teams. Shall I remind you?
Yeah. Thank you for doing that for me. I
I know.
was
There
getting
it
a bit
goes.
of anxiety.
Pop goes the dragon, and Kingzone say pop goes the Baron. This is going to go down extraordinarily quickly. Just one Mountain Drake,
they're just
but
gonna
that's all
burst.
they need.
Yeah,
That is just gone. It is picked up very, very quickly. Pop Blossom comes down. Deft has to flash. Now looking to turn on a FLICKR, who does manage to get the Zhonya's off. Deft takes half of his health bar just from a True Shot Barrage, and Teddy comes in to pick up the kill. Two-man Empress Divide as now Kingzone just look to disengage. They'll take the Baron, they'll take a couple of losses, but they'll trade it for Faker's life as well, and they'll probably say worth.
Yeah, Kingzone definitely are going to be looking like that is worth for them. They will lose the mid-tier 2 turret as well as a minion wave, so they're not going to have that available. They're also going to lose out on the side lanes. So the Baron buff is not going to be the most impactful, as they're going to lose an inhibitor to boot, but then they're going to get an opportunity to blow back.
They should. As inhibitor is going to go down, SKT will now have super creeps to help them defend against this Baron. And the negative 236 Baron power play, as it was before, is certainly not what you want to see as a Kingzone fan. But now with 2.5 minutes on that Baron buff, it is time to answer back. As that minion wave crashes towards the inner turret, Kingzone continue to pile down this mid lane. Rascal. Cheeky there.
Atlas, I don't appreciate that you said that if you're a Kingzone fan, you don't like to see the negative 230 Baron play, okay? Because when the lights start to dim, Atlas, that's when the show starts, okay?
All right. I'm just glad that there's no Varus in this game, because in spring, you remember, it was SKT that smashed Kingzone out of the playoffs. And it was with Teddy on the Varus shooting a cute little piercing arrow into a Baron pit in game number 1 and tilting Kingzone out of the series.
All right. Well, let's take a look at how this all happens. Deft probably should have just been at the back of the pit, flashing over the wall. Gets rooted up there. FLICKR went into the Zhonya's. And then you'll take notice here at how Atrox with the World Ender, the revive was not necessary. He doesn't have it.
No, it doesn't. There's no longer ending worlds.
Yeah,
he's just having chats to Pantheon now that he's been remade. Here's the team fight though. Pop Blossom once again. SKT already with 2. The turret goes down, but was it worth it, Kingzone? As Emperor's Divide is still there from Naehyun, but he just doesn't have a health bar. Empowered Recall going to be there, but the snipe from Effort is going to get rid of the Azir, and Kingzone look to have fallen apart.
Yeah, Kingzone, they've lost the game, I think, Atlas. I'm pretty sure the double Infernal, just the advantages right now that SK Telecom has, they're going to look to end the game here.
It was all part of the SKT plan. They wanted that Baron to be taken.
Yes, it was all just a part of the plan. It was all just a cruel ploy.
Ooh, the hookshot pretty strong. Even if you're yanked back by the Infernal Chains, the hookshot is going to be the better one. Just look at the damage onto this turret. Look at the damage onto the Kingzone players. True Shot Barrage comes down. The revives are going to come in, but they're not going to get anything as the Nexus erupts, and SKT say it's time to win.
All right, well, Teddy put a bit of a clinic on with his damage that game, and salvaging that bottom team fight as well as just showing up big in the later stages of the game.
Yeah.
Kingzone didn't need to have that Baron go as catastrophically as it did. Deft could have flashed out the backside, not gotten rooted in the very front, and then flashing away needlessly. There's definitely a lot of things that Kingzone could have done better, and then they floundered around in a couple of team fights, and so their team composition never got to come together. And because they were fighting so sporadically, SKT just have such a much more massive edge.
Yeah, they did. And I think it was SKT playing with the patience that they've shown us over the last few weeks here in the LCK as well. Because Kingzone looked like they were rushing to the plays after that Baron was picked up and playing haphazard League of Legends, which you just can't afford to do against a top team here. And SKT well and truly looking like they're in form up against Kingzone Dragon X after game number 1.
And you have to wonder how you're feeling as Kingzone after game number 1, because that's a very tilty way to lose the game. And SK Telecom, they're probably just feeling very comfortable after all of this.
Yeah, and we were going down the line as far as the team compositions were concerned. We really liked what Kingzone had put together for themselves in that draft. Acorn did a pretty good job there. But you can see here, it was all about the Ezreal. Ezreal 100% pick ban so far. We've got the 2 best Ezreal players in the league here today. And I have a feeling that Ezreal needs to be looked at as we move into game number 2. Likely that Kingzone will probably also like to go towards the first pick.
Well,
matchup.
Alice, he definitely will be looked at. I don't know if that means that they'll actually hover their mouse over him and pick or ban him, but he will be looked at, Alice, okay?
Thanks for that.
No problem.
I mean, I can just Google image search some Ezreal, and then I can look at it, regardless of what happens in the Champion Select.
Yeah,
so
right. Very nice, Alice. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Check out the highlights here, and this was when Kingzone lost the game.
Yeah, this is it. So we can see here that Deft is arbitrarily just pushing the mid turret because it is imperative that they get that 100 gold. Ends up getting slowed there by the Nico, and then it just doesn't matter. Clid locking everyone up, and then Naehyun falls there shortly after. Rascal, it was a full-on retreat. You can see Naehyun, he's trying to recall, but
That was a cute one.
yeah, that was indeed a cute.
But not going to be enough. To save them there is Cuzz flashing over that wall, and then immediately afterwards to his demise, as the Nexus turrets did fall pretty much immediately after. It is a best of 3, though. Kingzone have a chance to answer back. Last time, it was a 2-1 for Kingzone. This time, what is it going to be as SKT are on a tear? We'll find out after the break.
걸었어 11을 나이스
살짝 나 살려. 가면.
큐 맞췄어 아지르 노플
한 대만.
따라가자 이거 따라가고 미드
끊었어,
미드
이거.
몇명 가봐.
잡으면 끝나, 잡으면 끝나.
야 미드
미드 가면 끝나. 얘네 못 막아.
야 이거 리콜 안 끊어도 돼. 안 끊어도 돼.
그냥 와.
오케이, 오케이.
백대 의미 없어.
갈게.
야 하는 데지 마.
이거 피드백만 잘해서 한판 하면 돼, 이거.
오케이.
끝났어, 이거.
어,
잘 끝내고, 이거. 잘 끝내고.
오케이.